Murad, thank you. You're asking about what we've done to reduce utility bills in London, and I told you, I met you in the lift the other day. I said I was going to give you some amazing news about retrofitting. Do you remember?
I don't.
And you don't remember?
No, I've got very bad memory.
You weren't interested in what I was going to tell you about retrofitting. You mean to say you glazed over, Murad? You didn't care. Okay, I'll tell you anyway. We've retrofitted more than 100,000 homes through the Renew programme, and that helps overall to reduce Londoners' energy bills. To get to your point exactly, by £2.3 million this winter, and over obviously many more winters to come. And the figure I thought that you would be interested in is that in total we have retrofitted since 2008 more than 400,000 homes now, which is double our target. How about that?
Right, well, Mr Mayor, we've covered this ground before, and I didn't really want to go into the retrofitting. What I wanted to go into, actually, utility bills. If you read the question correctly, that's what I was focusing on. I just wanted to tell you about a cost of living survey that I've undertaken. Well, we've had over 2,000 respondents to the survey, and we found that 85% of them identified utility bills like gas and electricity as their main concern as the cost of living. I just want, for the record, to know, what did you do when Thames Water attempted to hike up their water bills by £29 for 2014-15? That's 7 times your proposed cuts in the council.
Well, look, I mean, you're asking now about water bills rather than coal.
That's a utility bill.
I mean, water doesn't affect the temperature of your home much, but since you want to ask,
utility bill.
It says tackling the cold homes crisis is your question. But
no, that's the header. If you look at the question.
All right. Okay. It's about water now. I'll happily answer
it's utility bills. It's utility bills.
Yeah. Okay. The answer is you're right to be concerned about water bills, and one of the things that we need to be very careful of is that the Thames Tideway Tunnel, which I think is on the whole a very good scheme, does not become a massive excuse for water ratepayers for payers of water bills in London to be paying huge amounts for a piece of infrastructure built by Thames Water that will greatly increase their regulated asset base and is therefore in their financial interest. So we need to be very, very vigilant about what's going on with water bills. And on the wider point of what's happening with energy consumption, which I think was the one that you highlighted as being the thing of greatest concern to Londoners, it is a fascinating thing that if you look at international comparisons, including taxes, costs of energy in this country, or certainly in London, are relatively low by comparison with other capitals. What the problem is that we have very high consumption of that electricity and that gas, and we're using much more to heat our homes. Therefore, the solution is to do the obvious thing, and that is to retrofit and to insulate and to reduce consumption. And that's why I hoped you'd be more excited about what I had to say about
questions about that before Christmas. I've just changed my emphasis. Can I just, for the record, it should be noted that you actually didn't respond to the Ofwat consultation on that £29 hike. Although I do agree we've got to be very careful about what the proposed bill for the Thames Tideway Tunnel is. Can I now move to another conclusion that we found from our survey, which demonstrated that 65-year-olds were hit particularly by spiralling energy costs. 63% of them were saying they've cut back on heating in order to pay their bills.
Yeah.
I mean, in particular, one person in response to the survey from Hounslow said, "I'm worried sick about heating costs. Life at our age is becoming frightening." Yeah.
I mean,
doesn't it really concern you?
It does concern
in the city,
me.
Which your mayor, your people, Londoners, are terrified about what the next bill's going to mean for them.
You're right to make this point, and I thank you for the work that you're doing on this. The Know Your Rights campaign is there. We're trying to be as proactive as possible, working with councils to make sure elderly people do know what they're entitled to, do know the the allowances that they're entitled to help heat their homes. But as I say, if you look at the consumption figures in London, and the relative cost, one of the problems is we are spending so much more on heating our homes than we need to, partly because of lack of good insulation. So many of those homes can be tackled with retrofitting. As you know, in London, we have I think 42% of the housing stock has solid walls. It is much more difficult in London to put in some of the basic insulation things that make a difference. But 400,000 so far is not a bad achievement, and obviously we have very ambitious programmes over the next few years.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't support our amendment in the budget for the Home Energy Advice Team, which the CABs also support.
Right. The only reason I didn't support your amendment, which I'm sure was excellent in many respects, Murad, was because I believe that we can achieve what you want through other ways, and I'm determined that we should.